Hi everyone, this is Kevin with My Shop Assist. This video I'm going to go over how we have changed the user settings for the new version of MSA. To start, we've even overhauled the login feature. So in the previous version, you had to use a username, a shop name, and a password to get logged in. In this version, you can now do it with just an email. So if you have an email set up for your user, you can log in with that. It also fixes some of the problems we had with resetting passwords. In the previous version, if you didn't have an email for your user configured, if you clicked the forgot password, you would expect an email, but you'd never get one because there was no email to send it to. And a lot of people didn't realize that, and it became an issue several times. So in this version, we now allow you to put an email in there and log in with it. That way you can reset the password with it. So I'm just going to start by logging in with just a test site here. And we have the, when I log in, you're going to see that if you're on a larger shop, it will say loading 0 out of like 100 or 0 out of 150. That is the new version downloading all the active jobs you have into your browser's cache. It may take a second or two to do that, but it does speed up all the pages once you're in. So when you click through the different options, they load basically instant now because they're no longer pinging the server for any information. It's just loading what's already in your browser's cache. When you do make changes such as like start a timer, add a job, edit a job, add a task or part, whatever it may be, it sends that little bit of information to the server, and the server will update everybody else who's connected. So it is faster loading. But in this case, I'm logged in as Mr. DinoTune. So if I go into user, I am DinoTuner here. What you can do now is with the users, if we go to the dashboard and click the user tab, this is where you add and edit all your users. So here's where you would click for new user, but in this case, I'm going to manage myself. If you have a technician or a manager or salespeople, in the previous version, we used roles, and the roles would kind of dictate what the person could and could not do within the system. In this version, we've kind of done away with that. The important thing to note is if you go in here and click on it and edit them, you now have a permissions tab up along the top. This permissions tab is how you configure what the people can and cannot do. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and we're expanding it all the time. Basically, you can read through them all. I'm not going to go over all of them in this video, but most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Like, if you want the ability to delete a job, you click this button. If you want to be able to edit payments or view the work order, you click these buttons. If you want the person to edit the pricing for tasks, you click this button. And so you can configure what it is, and then you save it once you've got it figured out. The second thing is, all you have to do with the roles this time is managers have full functionality. They will not even have a permissions tab because they have full permission. If you need to change that, you would just click on somebody, edit them, and you can change their role to technician, and then you can configure what they can and cannot do. Pretty easy to do. Second, from the dashboard on the user tab, you will see tickets for each person in here. What this is a great way for managers to kind of observe what everybody is doing. So obviously the more people you have at your shop, the easier it is to kind of track it all. But when somebody clocks in, you will see that it will say clocked in on their little ticket here. Likewise, if you go into a job and start a timer, when somebody's running a timer and you're looking at this page, you'll see what they're doing, and you can click into that job directly. So it's a nice handy way to be able to observe what everybody's doing and see who's, being productive or just not even there. And so we've got that in here. If you do need to reset passwords for users, you can click on manage users. If they don't have an email, like if there's no email in here, all you have to do is just click on it, edit it, and you can reset the password. Managers can reset the password for them. If you do have an email address in here, you will not be able to edit the password. It will not let you do that. And the reason is because it's a security issue. If you want to be a little more secure and have everybody's own email in there, the only way they'll be able to reset it is from that login page. So if you were to go to the login page and click forgot my password, it'll ask you to type your email in, and then it will send you a login token to get you logged in. It's pretty straightforward. You can now also change from dark mode or light mode. So if you click on your little logo at the top right here, you can use the dark mode or you can use the light mode. I know the dark mode is actually preferred by most people, but we did start with the light mode. You kind of decide what you'd like. And then the last thing here is along the left-hand side, we have a panel of all the users. And actually, it's probably easier to see in the dark mode. So let's see here. Yeah, so you can see them. If somebody's clocked in, it will be dark, like a brighter color. If they're not clocked in, it'll be kind of grayed out, opaque. And same with what you're working on will show up. But if you need to switch users, you just click on it. And it will switch who you're logging in. Oh, I don't even know my own password. Okay. But yeah, you can switch users just by clicking on it and typing in the password. And we do have a couple other features that you can set in here. If I go back to the dashboard and manage my users, one thing that you'll notice that is on here if I edit it is starting page. So if you make this page something different, like let's try it with the jobs calendar and hit save. When I click the home page, which is the MSA logo at the top, it's going to bring me to whatever the home page for the user is. In this case, I set it to the calendar. Also, you can see in this case, like Kevin, this is assigned to Kevin, and it's kind of this pinkish color. If I go to the dashboard and manage users, you can see the color for the user, and this is kind of where it shows up everywhere. So if we'll make this in a little more red, and I'll make myself, we'll go with a blue here. So we set it to a blue. If we go to the calendar, now Ben Franklin is red, and what I'll do is I'll put this one on the calendar for tomorrow. And you can see that this is assigned to Kevin, but I'm going to change it to Dino. And yes, we want to apply to all unfinished tasks. So you can see DT is my initials, KD is the other one. And so that one's blue there. Also in the dashboard, you can see it shows you what your tag is. And last, we also have, if you don't want to use just the initials with the color, you can upload photos of what the, like an avatar for yourself. And that will allow you to, everywhere you see that little circle with the initials in it, it will change it to whatever picture you've made it. Kind of fun thing to do. It's not necessary, but if you like to do that, you can. And to follow up with what we talked about in the calendar video, if you didn't already see it, we do allow you to now schedule days off as well. So when you go to the calendar, up on the top right here, you have an employee schedule. If you click that, if you need to schedule a day off, just click on the day you're not going to be working, select the employee, and there's a drop down here, and you'll be able to select from working, reoccurring, paid time off, or unpaid time off. So you can actually put a work schedule if you want in there. I will say that for most people, it's a little bit unnecessary, but if you'd like to put a work schedule in there, you can do it. So we've added a day off to the calendar here. You can now see on the employee schedule here that it's a day that's off. If we go back to the job calendar, it will say vacation. And if you hover over it, it will show you what you're looking for. So yeah, you can filter this stuff by employee. So if you want to see Dino's schedule or if you want to see Kevin's schedule, kind of neat thing to do with different users. And then when you are logged in as somebody, normally your dashboard is the home page, but if you've configured it differently, it wouldn't be. But this jobs page here is going to be the user's to-do list. So in this case, if we look at Dino Tuners, he's got this Ben Franklin job on it. If I were to go in here and change one of these tasks to Ben or Dino Tuner, and if I'm going to star it, that will move it to the top of the list. If I go back to the dashboard, you'll see this job now has a task assigned to this user, DT, and we start it, so it's going to move it to the top. So this is just a list of all the stuff the employee has and what they need to be working on. So it's pretty straightforward for them to just log in to the dashboard and see what to do next. As long as whoever your service manager is or the owner is keeping up with what jobs they need to do, this makes it really easy for your technicians to kind of follow along with what they need to do. And that just about covers it for the user settings. If you have any questions or need any help with anything, obviously just give us a call, email us, or message us on the chat. Thank you very much.